I'm Nancy Hammond. I live on Winter Street. I've been here about 50 years in the same house, and I think it was moving to Lincoln that really got me interested in birds. So I took a couple of beginning classes at Drumlin Farm and then would work for many years and not get out birding at all. So now that I've retired, I've had more time to do that. So I started working on the citizen science project at Drumlin Farm, monitoring the bluebirds and tree swallows in the boxes that they have, and I did that I've been doing that the last 15 years or so. As a result of the weather, we're pretty much back to showing the sturdy year-round residents instead of being able to show some of the spring birds I'd hoped we could add in, such as the newly arrived chipping sparrows, tree swallows. They're all hiding out, warming up. The Downies make small round holes in trees for nesting. They're definitely modest compared with the huge hunks of wood the pileated woodpeckers chop. One of the species that spends the most time at my feeders in all seasons is the American goldfinch. They're rarely alone, fly in groups, often filling all the possible perches, especially on the thistle feeder, and battling over who gets which spot. A common bird, one that can be found almost anywhere across the country, but one of my favorites is the song sparrow. I delighted in having two stick it out here through much of the winter, coming to the seeds other birds drop from the feeders. The white-breasted nuthatch is one of two nuthatches that will come to the feeders here. The white-breasted is here year-round, but the second, the tiny red-breasted nuthatch, is less common and comes mainly, if at all, in the winter. As you're probably aware, when in the nesting boxes, house sparrows are often attracted to them and will get in the boxes and either kill chicks of the bluebirds or tree swallows or peck at the eggs, which has been a real problem. So someone came up with the idea of putting monofilament wires. The movement of the monofilament keeps house sparrows away but does not keep other birds away. So that's been going on for a number of years, and that was very successful here. Unfortunately, this year, it's always a question of, do you hope the birds come early and then hope the weather's good, or do you hope they delay and have successful nesting? And this year, the male was around all winter eating on the suet here. Female only came this spring. She laid 5 eggs and then has not been seen again. I'm guessing something happened to her because usually they're very faithful to their nest. I have continued to see the male bluebird around, so hopefully another female will show up. I was also pointing out we have a barn that has a ledge, and robins tend to nest there every year. So there have been up to 11 nests on this one beam, each year just one nest. And tree swallows have come. They tend to start after the bluebirds. They have started adding some dried grass to the boxes out in the field. But what was happening here is while the bluebirds were nesting, the male bluebird was very feisty and would scare away any tree swallow that came anywhere near the 3 boxes in the backyard. It was definitely territorial. But now that the bluebird is no longer watching the nest or incubating, it appears to have let the swallow start again, so perhaps it will be successful at the box behind the house. I came upon a pileated in our woods who was knocking on the tree out there, creating large oval cavities, which is what they tend to do as they're searching for ants and so forth. If they're going in for a nest, it has to be much bigger than what we were just looking at on the tree. I think one of the best birds this winter over feeder watch was a male towhee, which is very unusual to have here during the winter. Finally disappeared at the end of March. Hopefully it found a mate. Funny thing was that I had this one male towhee all the time. And then I looked out one morning midway along this period of the winter, and there were 2 male towhees. And I thought, I've got to be seeing things. I looked again. There were 3 male towhees. And 3 appeared again several weeks later at one time, but generally it was just the one. And I was never sure, was it the same male towhee or was it one of the others? I don't know, but it was really wonderful to have them here. As we were watching for birds, I happened to see a red fox that was running around on the edge of the field, right at the edge of the woods, next to the streams. I've seen that a lot lately. It's definitely on the hunt. Well, it's been a kind of a strange spring with, as everybody's aware, the ups and downs of the weather and so forth, but it's always nice to get out and see what's happening. Forsythia's been out forever. The apple trees and the frontier are just starting to bud now and will be in bloom soon, which is always wonderful. So get out when you have an opportunity. See what you can find.